Welcome, everyone. Oh, lovely to be here where we are in WA, sunny, beautiful springtime WA. My name is Josephine Tannum, and I am the engagement manager over here in Western Australia. And it's my absolute pleasure to welcome you to this webinar, where you'll be sharing ideas and tips, as well as watching a wonderful food demonstration for food fighting, food waste inspired cooking. Bit of a mouthful, but it's a wonderful program and a lovely thing to be able to share with you today. Before we go any further, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners where we're coming from where we're coming to you from in Western Australia, the Whadjuk Noongar lands here, and also to acknowledge wherever you're coming to and watching this webinar today, the traditional owners of your lands. So just a little bit of background from me about OzHarvest and this fabulous partnership that we have with Thermomix. Today, it is about fighting food waste with some fantastic, nourishing recipes that inspire zero waste cooking, to also share some tips and ideas around that. OzHarvest are a not-for-profit organisation. We have been around since 2004, so we're just coming up to our 20th anniversary. And we're committed to fighting food waste and feeding vulnerable people in our communities, and also to educating and advocating these two vital values with everyone that we come across in our OzHarvest world and in everything that we do. So we hope that the session today will inspire you with some zero waste cooking tips that not only give you some ideas of how to use up what you have in your fridge at home, and to also be a wonderful asset to thinking about your home budget, but also some tips and some thoughts that you can reflect on about the importance of actually caring for people in our community and how that can actually contribute. We know that since we have begun with OzHarvest, that we have delivered over 250 meals to people from all walks of life who are struggling to make ends meet, and that this need is greater than ever before. We've rescued an astonishing 85,000 kilograms of food from landfill that has been rescued from over 3,000 food donors across Australia. And we support 1,500 charities with the food that we rescue. This need, as I said, is actually greater than ever before. So it's vital that we think about both food wastage, because staggeringly, statistics show us that 30% of waste comes from the household that goes into landfill. So every little bit that we can do to actually reduce this waste is important to our communities, to our global communities, to our sustainability. I would just like to finish before we actually throw over to Valentina and Helen to actually pick up on their demonstration. Just a lovely video from our visionary in residence and our founder, Ronnie Khan, just welcoming everyone today. If you do feel that you are inspired to perhaps donate to OzHarvest through watching this webinar, you'll find links through the chat, and you can also ask me any questions at all throughout the session that are related to OzHarvest, and I'll do my best to answer your queries. So I'll just throw over to Ronnie. Just give me a moment, and hopefully this will share all right. I'm not the greatest I'm not the greatest
Tech is not
technological
anybody's friend,
person.
Josie.
What was that?
Tech is not anybody's friend,
Oh,
Josie.
tech is just not my thing.
Yeah.
All good things, but it looks like we're ready to go. I'm going to share Ronnie's video, and then Helen and Chef Valentina will pick up from there and take you through this wonderful presentation that I hope will inspire you to cook yummy, nutritious food and to also take some tips away in terms of saving household waste and doing your bit for your community. Thanks, everyone.
Hi everyone, welcome to our waste-inspired cooking class with our beautiful Josephine, Chef Valentina, and our fabulous partner Thermomix, who are completely committed to enabling us to cook waste-inspired meals. Food waste is such a huge issue, and by utilizing both Thermomix and the recipes that we will share with you today, you will absolutely learn how not to waste food. Today in Australia, the need has never been greater. And if any of you are inspired to support us, every dollar donated enables us to deliver 2 meals to people in need. In all my 20 years, I have never, ever experienced a need as great as we are seeing right here in Australia. So thank you so much for participating, and I hope you have a magnificent time.
Beautiful. Thanks, Ronnie. And I'll sign off from the video and send it over to you girls.
Thank you so much, Josie. Hi, everyone. My name's Helen from Thermomix, and I have with me...
Hello, everyone. I'm Chef Valentina from OzHarvest.
That's right. So as you've just heard, we're partnering up for a very important cause. And today we're going to be cooking a couple of things and sharing some tips. Chef V's got loads of tips for you guys on how to waste less. Who's excited? Let's get that started from there. All right. What I'd love to find out, who's heard of OzHarvest before? It's always good to get an idea of, you know, who's heard of the name, who's heard of the cause, and then who's heard of Thermomix? Do any of you have a Thermomix in your kitchens? And if so, which model do you have? So while you're doing that, Chef V, what are we cooking today?
So today we're going to be cooking 3 different recipes. We're going to start with the pasta, lots of veggies and some feta cheese.
Yep.
And then we're going to bake a banana and whole banana, apple and whole banana loaf.
Yep.
The whole banana meaning the peel of the banana as well.
Yes.
And after that, we're going to make quiche base with a bread pastry using old bread.
And it is an amazing, amazing recipe that I myself, I've been with Thermomix 17 years and I actually didn't realize we had this recipe until I started looking into a little bit more of the less waste recipes, and it's a fabulous one. You're definitely going to want to pay attention to that. All right, so to get started, I am going to start on the pasta, but so that people find out a little bit more about you, what led you to join forces with OzHarvest? How did your journey lead you to less waste in OzHarvest?
Okay, so I grew up in the countryside in a small little village in Italy, outside of the village, in the outskirts. And we had all our veggies, we had our chickens, we never bought a chicken, olive trees, fruit trees. And so I always saw all the hard work that goes into growing this food. And that's where my passion, I would say, starts from my hometown, my family. That's what they always told me. Everything is hard to grow, so we never wasted anything at home. And even now, when I go back home, I've just been back to Italy, I still find my mom eating a 2-day-old salad with a dressing from a little container.
We do that. I love that someone else does.
Yes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Mom, are you eating that? It's all been, but she's like, it's delicious. It's from my garden. I'm not throwing it away.
No.
So yeah, that's how beautiful. Everything started. Then I had a business. I still run the business, and I was doing in-home cooking classes. So one day I happened to go to someone's that to run a cooking class to someone that works at OzHarvest. And his name was Tom, and Tom immediately realized how passionate I was for food waste. We were talking about, we're gonna use that, we're not gonna waste that. So he told me about OzHarvest, and I had never heard about it. And then the next day I was having an interview, and then I became a chef for the Cooking for a Cause program, which is the program that I now run for OzHarvest. And 4 years ago, that's how it all started.
There you go.
Yes.
I love it, which has brought us here today now. We're ready to get started. I hope you guys are. We're going to start with the beautiful tomato pasta with vegetables and feta. And the reason we chose this dish when Chef V and I were chatting about it, it had lots of veggies.
Yes.
So what's one of the highest wasted foods?
Veggies.
Veggies.
That's it.
Right.
Veggies is definitely, veggies and fruit
Yeah.
is the most wasted fruit.
Hence why we chose this, because it's using lots of veggies. So I'm going to go into my week. For those of you that are not familiar with the TM6, we can menu plan on the TM6, and we have the ability with an app to choose what we're cooking for today or for the week. And it comes up on the screen when I just click there my week. So we've got the 3 dishes today that we're cooking. I'm going to tap into here my tomato pasta. We're going to start cooking. The best thing is that on the screen you can see the ingredients, you can see the method, and you just press start, and it actually guides you through the whole recipe. A little bit like when you're driving a car and the GPS is taking you to your desired destination. In this case, our desired destination is a tomato pasta feta with vegetables. No, tomato pasta, vegetables with feta. All right, it's a bit of a mouthful.
Yes.
All right, we are going to pop in there. It's asking for 1 carrot, but because I've got kind of a few ingredients in one, I'm just going to skip ahead. We've got a carrot, we've got a brown onion, and we've got a 1 clove of garlic. All right, now carrots? When is it time to throw them away?
Okay, carrots, that's a very good question. First of all, I like to use everything from the carrot. So if it's a fresh carrot, we don't peel the carrot.
You can still carrots with
So we're not gonna throw away the peel. If it's a bit of an older carrot, you know how when they go a little bit floppy, then what you can do, if you've got a few carrots that are really sad looking and floppy, you can pop them into a container covered in water, and within overnight, these carrots will become hard again. Basically, the carrot is gonna drink the water.
Wow.
And yes, rehydrate. How do you say?
Rehydrate.
Rehydrate.
I
Thank you.
love that.
Sorry. English is my second language, so
It's okay.
sometimes some words don't come easy. But yes,
no, you're doing
that's,
well.
That's what happens, and you can do this with any root vegetable, really. So potatoes as well. And then obviously, if it was a sad carrot, then you peel the skin off and use the rest.
And use the rest.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Who's like me and has had some sad carrots in their time and thrown them away? I will put my hand up. It has been me in the past. Now, that was 3 seconds of chopping on speed 7. I think you got a glimpse of what was in the bowl. It's chopped beautifully. So we're just scraping everything down, and we're going to pop in there 20 grams of olive oil. Okay. And I'll just make sure that all of the carrot is down to the base of the bowl. We'll hit our next. Now we're going to pop our simmering basket on top, because we're actually going to saute. Just grab one of those baskets. Sorry, there we go. That's our simmering basket. We'll put it on top. It's got 3 minutes of sauteing on 120 degrees on speed 1. So while that's happening, we're going to go over to you, and Chef V is going to start on the bread pastry.
Right, so bread pastry, I'm going to get all my ingredients, so thank you,
Here we
Helen.
go.
Amazing.
Plus the bread, very important. Now, what's so special about this recipe, Chef V?
We are using some really old bread that normally, you know, people don't know what to do with it, and it goes into the bin. So this is just a way of something we can do with old bread, but obviously there is so many other things we can do with old bread. Butter bread pudding. We can make breadcrumbs as well. We can freeze it. If it's still in good condition, we can freeze it and then put it in the oven wrapped in alpha oil, and it's perfectly fine to use as well.
Yeah.
So lots of
So
different
many
ideas.
things. And bread's also one of those ingredients that people tend to throw away quite quickly, don't
That's
they?
right. And actually, bread is the second most wasted food. And that's because we want to have fresh bread at every time of the day that we go into a supermarket.
Yeah.
Back in the days, we would have to go to the bakery nice and early. Otherwise, we would find no bread.
No bread.
But now we have fresh bread every time of the day. And that's why we overproduce more than we need.
Yes.
Yeah,
So this has just been dried out in the oven, has it?
correct.
Yep. So we've done that part already.
So yes, it's nicely toasted.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do, we skip this because it's been done.
Now, just keep in mind, we're working back to front here, so it takes a little bit of getting used to doing that. So just bear with us.
Okay, so I've got already the bread
Yeah, so we're skipping just past the part where we're toasted the bread off,
done.
because that's already been done. Otherwise, you'll be here all day.
Measuring cup. Oh, there we
Okay,
go.
so
That's
we-
when I put the bread in there.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna also put the lid.
Beautiful.
And then I'm gonna go to 10.
Yeah, so it's
Beautiful.
making breadcrumbs. I feel like, I know my kids are notorious for this, but when we have sliced bread, the ends always get left. Nobody wants to eat the ends of the
Yep.
sliced bread. But if you collect those ends, you dry them out and turn them into breadcrumbs and pop them into your freezer, no waste.
And what I do as well, I just take the ends out of the bread bag, put them in a bowl, leave them in the fridge, and they will dry out. They won't go moldy because they're in the fridge. And I just have a container open so it can get the air and dry out.
Yep.
And I leave all my bits and pieces of bread there. When I've got a good amount, then I just do this, and I've got beautiful breadcrumbs.
And I think everyone could see. Can you all got a glimpse of that that bread,
Yes,
those
thank you.
breadcrumbs? How awesome is that?
Okay, now we add the flour.
Just some plain flour, is it?
Just
there?
plain flour.
All right.
Yes, you could use wholemeal.
You all have the recipes, by the way, in the confirmation email that came out. You would have got an ebook, but for those that maybe couldn't find it, we'll pop a link in the chat box that takes you straight to that ebook.
The butter, which needs to be cold,
Needs to be cold.
and a little bit of salt, and an egg. How quick is that?
I know. It's making pastry from ingredients that you have already at home and things you might have thrown away.
Beautiful. And back to the lid, the measuring cup. And we're gonna put it all together. That's it. So get rid of that.
Fantastic. So one of the great things about the Thermomix is that it mixes really well. It's got an actual mode that you can access for kneading. So you could in actual fact make your own bread as well. And that way, bread is always better when you know what's in it.
Correct.
You're not going and buying, loads and loads of bread. Perfect.
Okay. So that's looking quite good.
All good.
Let's have a
Now,
look.
while you
Feel.
just do that, I might just pop on the pasta for the next step and we'll come back
Yeah.
here.
Okay, you
Okay.
do that.
So we've sauteed this off. That was our carrot, onion, and garlic, guys. And we're just going to go to next. We now want to pop in there 400 of water. The Thermomix has an inbuilt scale, so minimizes having to have all these things pre-weighed. I've got some pre-weighed, but the water is not, so I'll just need to be a little careful.
I think I want to do this a little bit longer. Can I do
Sure,
that?
of course you can.
So I go back and
It's the beauty of guided recipes. You're still in control, so you can go back a few steps. Oh. Okay.
and you
40.
can look inside as well while
Yeah.
that's all happening. Yeah, that's looking much better. So I'm gonna stop it.
Beautiful. All right, I'm going to pop in some chopped tomatoes, canned tomatoes. We need 800 grams of that. Now, if you didn't want to buy chopped, you could definitely grab the whole tomatoes. It'll melt down in there as you're cooking. We want some tomato paste, 30 grams of that.
I didn't have tomato paste when I tried this recipe at home,
Yeah.
and it was delicious anyway. So that's also the
that's
beauty, that you can swap ingredients and just make it your own
Make it
recipe.
your own. Vegetable stock concentrate, which is one of our favorite things to make in the Thermomix, because all those sad looking veggies can go into one of these, turn it into a beautiful stock concentrate, and you don't have to have thrown them away.
And if you didn't have a Thermomix, you could do exactly the same thing with the old veggies.
Absolutely.
With just one of those kitchen robots.
Okay. Back to, oh, we've got some questions?
Got some questions.
Great.
One is, how long and what temperature do you use to dry the bread out in the oven?
It's all part of the recipe. I think it was only like 20 to 30 minutes, but let me just double check here. 150 degrees, 30 minutes. That was it. The question was, sorry. I know I should know this. The question was, how long did the bread get dried out for in the oven? And it's on 150 degrees for 30 minutes. But it's in that recipe that we sent out to you. So it's all written there.
And that's
looking
all
gorgeous.
beautiful. Yes.
Okay.
So should I put these at the back for now, Ellen?
Yeah, we're just going to put it to rest
Yeah.
for a sec
Yeah.
while we finish up here. This is the Varoma, guys. We're just going to load it full of veggies. And of course, you can use whatever veggies you like. Now, I'm just going to put it in a position which you can see. Is it easier if it's up here, Luce? Great. All right, so we're going to put one red capsicum. And in a sec, I'm actually going to get Chef V to show you how to cut a capsicum without wasting it. Because I think some of us waste quite a lot of the capsicum when we're cutting it open and using it. We also want some zucchini in there. We want some frozen peas. Oh, hang on. Have I missed a step? Nope. Red capsicum, zucchini.
I think the peas, they go at the end.
Yeah, I thought so too. These are frozen peas. They're a little bit
Yeah.
thawed at the moment, so I might actually wait for a moment. We want some mushies. The reason we're looking at the way we're layering it is because the thing that takes the longest time to cook goes at the bottom, and the thing that takes the less time to cook is at the top. Right?
Makes sense.
So we'll pop the peas in now.
Oh, yes. Beautiful.
And of course, you can just change this up with whatever you have at home,
Exactly.
right?
This is a great recipe to clean up your fridge, really. Just
Yeah.
open up your fridge. What's there? Cauliflower, all tomatoes, any veggies, really.
We're just seasoning this with a little bit of salt, some oregano, a teaspoon of oregano and a teaspoon of thyme. So they've all been kind of mixed in. So I'll pop it, just season it a little bit. All right, we're good to go. Lid goes back on, and that's now going to cook for 9 minutes on Varoma temperature, speed 1. All right,
Great.
we are back to you.
All right, back to me. Okay, so when I run my cooking classes, often I see people chopping veggies, and my heart always goes, oh, what are you doing? And capsicum and tomato is an example because, yeah, that's what happens, and with the tomatoes as well. So I'm just going to show you a way where you can actually use all of it. With the capsicum, we're just going to push in that green bit with our thumbs. And let's, yeah, there we go. So
Wow.
over there, yeah. And then, so as you can see, just the green is gone in and everything else is there. We don't actually need to get rid of half of the capsicum. And then I don't even need a knife. I'm just going to use my hand.
Oh my gosh, this is like blow my mind because I am notorious for just cutting the whole
Oh, you learned
Oh, but
something new,
I'm learning
Ellen.
lots.
That's
I hope
great.
you guys are learning lots too already.
So then we
Yeah.
just get rid of that bit and any other seed. We can just tap the capsicum, get rid of all the seeds that are there. And then with the knife, you cut your capsicum however you need it, really.
Beautiful.
So yeah, that's one thing. And with the tomatoes as well, same thing. And strawberries as well. Half of the strawberry is gone. We just need to get rid of the green bit, not half of the strawberry. So with this, we just need a little knife and we're gonna put the knife in, and with the thumb, we're just gonna place it there and we're gonna go around. And really, that's all we get rid of. Everything else is perfectly good to use.
Yeah, beautiful. Love that.
That's it.
Okay. Well, let's move on to, we've done the bread pastry. We're going to cut out of that. I'll grab that. Yeah, cool. We'll
Yeah.
cut out of, yeah, sorry.
Oh, good.
We'll cut out of that recipe and we're going to jump into our banana loaf. Now, this is another very interesting
Okay.
recipe. I
Banana
can jump
loaf.
out of there for you.
And I get a new clean bowl.
Yes, that is exactly right. Let me just get out of here and jump into your recipe for you, banana loaf. So it's an apple and banana loaf, guys, but it uses all of the banana and pretty much 99% of the apple.
Okay, so we've got the oven is already on. We've already greased the loaf, the tin.
Yep.
And we're gonna start with the water. Thank you, Helen. So you've got that water.
Good. Now we're going to use boiling water
Yes.
because we're just trying to be conscious of time. I'll get you to use some boiling water, and then that way.
Thank you, Ellen.
That way, we're just sometimes if you do, you don't have a lot of time on your hands, it's great to use some hot water in place of the cold water. It just minimizes the cooking time. So it's asking for 500, yeah.
Almost there. That will do.
Beautiful.
Okay. Next. We need our little basket.
Simmering basket, yep, just there.
And I'm gonna put that in. And I believe I need to put the apples in. Yes.
So the apples have just been cored, haven't they? Not peeled?
Not peeled. We use the skin, everything as well,
Yeah.
which that's why we love this recipe.
And we'll get
Okay.
Chef V to show you
Obviously-
how she cuts the apple in a second.
Yes, obviously you want to wash your fruit very well when you're using the skin. And we've got the banana. Banana peel only.
Yeah, let me get you a
So I'm gonna get rid of the ends of the banana. And I'm gonna peel the banana.
you know the chopping board at all?
I think so. Thank you. Yeah, cut into pieces. Beautiful. Thank you. I'm just gonna cut.
Has anyone ever used the banana skin in a recipe before? I'm intrigued to know. Yes? Some people have?
Oh,
No?
beautiful.
A lot of no's. Never would have thought that you could keep the banana skin.
So we put the banana in there as well.
Yeah.
All of it. Okay, next we go with the measuring cup.
Just, but we do need
the lid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's your lid.
Thank you.
So that says 10 minutes, guys, but because we put boiling water in there, we could probably reduce that time. So if you just press on the timer and just bring it down, because we're still in control, we'll go with 5 minutes and see how we go there.
Perfect.
All right, now this particular recipe also has some apple that goes on top as some garnish or decoration. But Chef V wanted to show you how you can actually clean an apple or core it.
I'm gonna get the big knife for
Yeah,
this one.
just over there.
Okay, so this is half an apple. Because we need slices, I'm gonna cut it in half again. We've got the core there, and all we do, we just really get rid of that.
Yeah, and look how thin that is, guys. It's like the
Yeah.
tiniest piece. Who's been
Yeah.
cutting too much of their apple off? That was me too, until I learned
Okay.
this trick.
Beautiful. So now we're gonna slice that apple. I'm gonna go the other way. It's a bit safer. Okay,
Beautiful.
and do the same here. Thank
Okay.
you.
These can go in a compost bin.
Yes, composting is another great way to reduce landfill.
All right, while that's being chopped, we've got another question.
Banana skin do.
That is, so the question is, what does the banana skin do? Do you have,
It's nutritious, adds nutrition to your food. And also we're not wasting it. So I actually went and did a little bit of a research
Yeah.
about banana peel. And obviously you need to make sure that it's clean and washed. Ideally organic, it would be the best, really. And it's banana peel, it turns out it's kind of a superfood. It's got lots of fiber and vitamins. I'm not a nutritionist, so I can't remember,
Yeah.
but definitely the fiber and nutrients.
yeah, well, it's, yeah, like Chef V just said, it's like a superfood.
Yeah.
Have a look, Google it up and see what kind of properties. There's quite a few in terms of nutritional value. So just, yeah, have a look and see.
I did study all of it, but yeah, I can't remember the whole.
Is the banana peel bitter?
Oh, great question. Is the banana peel bitter?
No,
Not at all.
it's
You
not.
won't even know it's there. So
Yeah.
I made this cake over the weekend. I served it to some people that came over to visit. And I didn't tell them that it was banana skin in it because I didn't want them to be put off.
Yeah.
And then when they ate it and I asked them, what did you think? Oh, it was beautiful. I said, there's a secret ingredient in there. Can you guess what it is? They absolutely did not guess that it was banana skin, but they could not tell. You just can't tell. It just tastes like banana.
And I cooked that with my daughter,
Mm.
and she was like, "We're gonna put the banana peel in there." She was shocked. I'm like, "Just trust, it will be good."
It will.
And then she loved it, and all my family loved it. And I actually baked one loaf to take to work as well.
Yeah.
So at OzHarvest in Perth, everyone tried it, and everyone was really impressed.
That's awesome. Okay, perfect timing to put the next lot on here for my pasta. So we want to take the varoma carefully off. We're just going to use the lid as a tray underneath to catch any drips. We're going to pop in here our pasta. You can use any pasta you've got at home, right? Ours is just the little spirals. And the sauce, you can see, it's beautiful. It started to heat up and cook through. This makes a huge amount, by the way. It's a very, very big dish. You need it to be at this temperature before you put the pasta in because, of course, we're cooking it in the sauce, which is also something that, some people have not thought to do before. So we want 300.
It's almost like cooking a risotto.
Yeah.
Like it's the same idea.
All right, we're going to put I'm just going to give it a stir, and then I'm going to put the varoma back in place. All right.
And I just love that all the mess is there, is
Yeah.
contained. You don't have so many pots to wash and pans, and it's all there. I love that.
Me too. All right, we put the lid in place. We're now going to cook it for 10 minutes, and you can adjust this time depending on your pasta and whatever the pasta says on the packet, or if you're like me, like if you're Italians generally like al dente.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You need it al dente.
So you just follow the packet instructions usually.
Yeah.
If you're a Greek like me, we tend to like it a little bit
more.
softer.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can add some time, but I'm going to leave it at 10 minutes. It's on reverse. and we're going to go speed soft.
I also found that if you, once it's cooked, you leave it in there for a few minutes, it kind of keeps
Yes,
cooking.
It does.
So if you don't want to serve it straight away, maybe, yeah, cook it a little bit less. Leave
Yeah.
it in there or in one of those
In the thermoserver.
thermoserver.
Yeah,
Yes.
because any pasta or rice dish starts to absorb the liquid,
Correct.
doesn't it? So
Yes.
yeah. All right, so this is gone. Let's just check because we did it for 5 minutes. Let's just check if we're happy with where it's at.
I think it's good.
We're all good.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue on.
Somebody's asked if it use shop pasta, use homemade pasta instead of shop.
Oh, of course. So the question was, can you use homemade pasta instead of shop bought pasta? Absolutely,
You could,
100%.
but you would have to reduce.
Definitely need to
Yeah.
just reduce the type.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
But by all means, it will be even better if you make your own pasta at home.
yes, that would be beautiful. So I'm taking this out.
So the great thing is our Thermomix actually has videos on there if you ever wanted, you know, if it's told you to do a step and you weren't sure what it's talking about and it happens to give you a video, you can actually watch a little video on there. We're just emptying out the water.
And now I'm going to put the apple in there
Yep, so the apple,
with the banana skin. And again, lid on.
so that's just chopping it for us. It's not a very high speed either. It's kind of speed 4. So the speed kind of determines what your end product's going to look like.
Yeah, so it's
So,
not going to be finely
yeah,
chopped. It's going to be a
no.
little bit
Rough chop,
rough
yeah?
chop. Yes.
Don't you love that Chef B's gone all out and put little banana earrings on today? Because, you know, we're making banana, banana loaf. I love it.
And the yellow.
And
We
the
love yellow.
for OzHarvest.
Yes.
Yes. Now, guys, we are all about, you know, helping in this wonderful cause. So there is the donation link is there. We also have a demo week that we're just starting tomorrow for a week, as of tomorrow for a week. Anybody that hosts a demonstration, Thermomix are donating $10 to OzHarvest. $10 gets, I don't know if you remember the stat from before, how many meals? 20 meals with $10.
That's right.
So just by hosting a demo, we donate that money, but we also have the donation link here if anybody wants to, because $1 equivalent to 2 meals.
Correct.
Look at that. That's all chopped nicely.
Beautiful. There
What's
we
the
go.
next step?
And this is another really quick recipe. Like if you need to go somewhere and you want to take something and you're like, oh, I don't have much time.
Yeah.
You can make this one in no time. Clean and dry mixing bowl. Should we?
No, I don't like doing that.
I-
But because we're chopping some oats
Okay.
and things,
All
I
right,
think we're
then.
going to get you another bowl.
All right.
Just to be on the safe side. I'm usually all for no.
Just because we've got so many
Yeah,
bowls.
only because we've got a few here.
All right.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah.
One
Yes,
I
I think
prepared
I did.
earlier for you.
I don't think I cleaned it when I made it at home. to
No,
be
I
honest.
didn't either, but I just don't want to veer from the recipe today.
Yes.
But when I'm at home, I judge it and I'll go,
Yeah.
could I just skip that step?
In banana peel. So that's in there.
Oh, we already put it in there, but that's okay.
Here.
Oh, yeah, it's here.
So that goes back in.
Let's
Right.
just press next for a moment.
Let me just go back. Sorry, did I miss a step? No.
Oh,
no,
yeah, the
oh.
rolled oats are in there.
Okay.
Oh, I think because we chopped the banana peel with the apple,
Yeah.
but that's okay. We'll just keep going.
So
I'll
should
tell
I?
you what's happened. Like when I did it at home, I didn't cut the banana peel as nice and finely as Chef V did. Mine was in big pieces, which means you would probably chop it up finely here at this point. But we've got it chopped up nicely here. So we're just going to put it in with the apple.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. We're just milling the oats at this point, aren't we?
Correct.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Done. And now we're gonna start with the flour. So
And that's again just plain flour, isn't it?
Yeah, just plain. And we've got some baking powder and actually I've got all in
All
here.
of them in one.
I've got bicarb and also some cinnamon. So I'm gonna put it all in. And next again, and then I'm gonna mix it all once again.
Don't you love the fact that there's a scale feature and it just allows you to weigh in the same bowl,
It's so good.
minimizing the mess?
And you don't need
Yeah.
to have so many things in your kitchen
Yeah,
because
that's
it's all
right.
in here. Get rid of your scale and it's all.
And I mean, we've gotten all the ingredients ready here, but the great thing is that usually you would just get it from whichever container you've got it in at home and pop it in there. So you wouldn't need all of these extra bowls.
That's right. And the banana goes in there. And this maple syrup.
Maple syrup, I love it. This is a beautiful recipe because it's healthy and it's also got the,
It's got some
you know,
walnuts,
rather than refined sugar, it's using that maple syrup.
rapeseed oil instead of butter. I love that one too.
Yeah. And you can change up the nuts. I omitted them in mine, but if you wanted to put almonds instead of walnuts, you can. Use up all of those nuts.
And if you want to use butter instead of oil, you can. Okay, fantastic.
Right, so that's now just combining our batter, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
gonna take only a few seconds.
We've got our gorgeous little loaf pan here, guys. That's on the Mix Shop if you're interested. The girls will pop the link in the chat, but it's perfect for these sorts of loaves.
All done.
Where else can you use banana peel? You could use it in muffins. I haven't delved into whether there's any kind of savory foods you can use it in, but I've got my beautiful chef and head of RD behind the cameras here. Great. Pulled banana peel recipe in the Less Waste collection or book. So if you've got Cookie Doo, you can jump on there and have a look. It's like pulled pork, isn't it? But a vegetarian version.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
yum.
using the banana skin. So there's a savoury one for you. Thank you,
I
Rach.
must check that one out. Okay, that goes in the tin.
Look at that, gorgeous. We will show you one we prepared earlier. Let's see how we're going for time. We're all good. We've got 15 more minutes.
Okay, great.
And this has got only another 2 minutes and we'll be almost ready there too. And then we're just going to show you that bread pastry and Chef V's going to just pop it into the quiche pan.
Okay.
Beautiful. Just pop it.
Yeah.
Great. I'm going to get rid of your. Thank you.
Okay. So, we're gonna put that on top.
Yeah.
Of course. Beautiful apple that we just chopped.
So then your fresh apple slices go on top just as decoration. You can sprinkle it with some sugar on top just to get that crystallized effect.
Almond flour is also really nice.
Almond flour. What
Mixed
is the
with
almond
sugar.
flour? Oh,
Just give that crusty,
Crunch?
beautiful.
oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what would you say, Chef V, are the most wasted foods?
Yes, so as we were saying before, fruit and veg is the biggest one, and then after that comes the bread and then dairy products.
Yeah.
And the problem with the dairy products, it's actually the misunderstanding behind the use by date
Right.
and expiry date. So a lot of people, when the use by date was yesterday, everything goes in the rubbish, in the bin. But actually what we need to do is to look and smell and taste. So use our senses
Yeah.
to then decide, is this still good? Because the food doesn't know that it's the date it's expired. Food doesn't know that. And we need that date for, legislation and all of that. But actually, most of the time, your milk, your yogurt, cheese, it's still good.
Yeah.
Cheese days after expiry date.
And they're usually just best before dates, aren't they? They're not usually a use by.
That's
so
right,
that's
that's
why it's
correct.
important to check. We'll get to what your tips are in storing things to make them last longer in just a
Yes.
sec. Shall we show one that's been prepared earlier?
Let's do that.
Look at that, guys. That is the banana loaf.
Beautiful.
How cool is that? All right, let me just finish off this pasta. I guess that's actually ready, but I'll
Yep.
just give it a second
I'm gonna,
and then,
you need this?
yeah, I will. It's actually a really large amount, so I'm hoping it'll fit in
Oh,
there, but
yeah, it
we'll
might
see.
not.
We'll see how we go.
Mm.
So this is where you could check to see that your pasta is in actual fact cooked to your liking. But let's just do this. All right, I want to see. These
Perfect.
thermo servers are things that products that you can get as a host reward. So remember I said that the demo week's coming up. If you can have a demonstration, you get access to host rewards at a reduced price or free. So make sure you reach out to a consultant. If you don't have a consultant, we're going to have a survey that's going to be popped into the chat box for anybody that wants to find out more information about the Thermomix. So whether you want to just see it in person or jump onto a virtual or just ask some questions about it, maybe even become a consultant. Because 17 years ago, that's how I actually got my Thermomix without paying for it. I earned it. So if you want to find out about how you can do that, the survey that's in the chat box and the recording is going to be sent to you in an email after this, like probably tomorrow. There'll be the survey there as well. So I've just put half of it in there because I just want to make sure that I can fit all those beautiful veggies.
Oh, yes.
So here we go.
Beautiful.
Look at that. And you can stir that through, which I will do in just a second.
And if you wanted to add some meat
Yeah.
and make it non-vegetarian, you can also do that.
Absolutely. Look at that, guys. Look at the beautiful colour. You've used up veggies that have probably been in your fridge that you maybe didn't know what you could do with them.
Yeah.
And there's still more in here, okay? So I haven't actually filled it all up yet.
Beautiful.
I'm just conscious I want to be able to put the lid
I
on it.
know.
Because these thermo servers are great because they actually keep your food hot for like 2 hours, which is just wonderful to have alongside with the Thermomix. All right, so I think you get the idea. I can see the feta just melting in there, which is just beautiful. Olives, I'd add some olives to this.
Ooh, good idea. Some
Always
fresh
good,
herbs.
fresh
in.
herbs. All right, how's that looking, everybody?
Delicious.
What I'm going to do is just give it a little bit of a wipe.
Okay, and I'll get rid of this.
Yeah. Okay, and then we're going to just pop that aside for a moment so Chef V can just show you the final step with the bread
Yeah.
pastry.
Yeah, let's do
And
that.
how
Can I borrow?
this,
Thank
yes,
you.
sorry.
No problem.
Oh, you've got the pastry already?
I've got it. Yes.
What you're going to see is it actually makes quite a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. So you could make a bigger one or use it for two quiches, tarts, whatever. You could freeze half of it, or you could just make some crackers with whatever is left. Mini tarts also
Yeah.
for lunch boxes for your kids. That's another really good idea. So do we have any extra flour that I could, because it's quite sticky.
Is it? Do you want to use this one? This is the one we prepared earlier that's been
Yeah.
rested.
Oh, let me try. It might be good.
I haven't got any flour.
Right.
It's okay. We're all good.
Yeah.
Yep, we've got it on baking paper.
Yeah, don't
There's a
worry.
beautiful
All
trick.
good. All good.
So we could
Sorry.
cut this in half because obviously one big one's too much for this particular pan, but it
Oh, yeah, that's true.
easily makes 2 of these.
In fact,
Yeah, sorry,
I
that's why I
should
got you.
probably. Yeah, I'll do that. Get rid of some of it.
And if you find, because depending on your bread and how dry your bread is, you're going to get a different consistency. So you can adjust the water in there. If you find it's a little bit too soft, you could just use your hands, couldn't you? And
Yes.
just push
In
it
fact,
in.
I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Yep.
I'm just gonna do the first
The
roll
first
in,
roll.
here, and then I'm just gonna go with my hands, and whatever is left, I'll just add it to that, and then
Yeah.
we can freeze it. Okay.
The actual bread pastry recipe doesn't go on to tell you kind of the recipe of the quiche. We're just showing you one of the things that you can do with this particular pastry.
And then it's up to you to be creative and put in there whatever you fancy. So if you want to mix some eggs and put some veggies in there, again, whatever it's in your fridge will work. For example, what I do, sometimes I've got leftover veggies from my day before dinner, roasted veggies or steamed veggies. And what you can do, you can just chop them really fine, mix them with some eggs, cream or milk, cheese, and put it all in there. And,
And there's a quiche, there's another meal.
Another meal with
leftovers.
leftovers,
Yeah.
using leftovers. So yeah, it's about being creative in the kitchen and thinking, oh, I just had that yesterday. I don't want to have it again, but what can I make with
Something
it?
different,
Yes.
yeah. So as you can see, Chef V's just using her fingers and just popping it into the pan and making sure that the pastry's gone all the way around the sides. Do you need to blind bake this pastry?
You can, but I've tried without blind baking it, and it actually works really
It's perfect.
perfectly.
In actual fact, the one we prepared earlier hasn't been blind baked and it worked out beautifully as well. So that's one less
there you go.
step
Yeah.
that you have to do, which is just awesome.
This is something your kids can do. They love using their hands, and my daughter loved doing this.
Who thinks this is a recipe that they will come away from this webinar and try? I'd love to know if you have been inspired by using, you know, older bread to create a pastry dough. While Chef V's doing that, as she said, you can take any quiche recipe, make up your own, and pop it in there, and you can bake it. It's a really beautiful quiche.
Beautiful.
So there you go.
Done.
And there's another whole, another half of that pastry that's left over, so you can make another one. You could possibly freeze it, couldn't you?
Absolutely.
Yes. Freeze it in that shape, or freeze it like this and then just thaw it. It does freeze even in the fridge, it'll go really hard.
Yeah.
So you will need to bring it to room temp.
Yeah, because there is the butter in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, bring it back to room temperature before you need to work it. Beautiful.
All right.
Okay.
So we've kind of done the 3 recipes, but I just wanted to ask you a couple more questions before we finish up, because we've got 5 minutes and we might have some time for some more questions. In terms of storing produce, what would be your advice on how to keep things super fresh, like herbs, for example? How do you?
So my big tip is, when you come home with your shopping, don't just throw your shopping in the fridge and run, but actually sort out your shopping. And the best thing to do is if you put everything into containers. They don't need to be airtight containers, but when you've got your celery and you put your celery in the fridge, the next day it's like floppy. But if you put that celery in a container with a lid on top, it will stay fresh for over 10 days. I can guarantee that.
So no water needed, just a container with a lid.
So it's the direct cold from the fridge to the veggies that ruins the veggies.
Right.
So if you put your, even the salad, you know, you've got your beautiful fresh salad, comes in those little plastic bags, and you just put it in the fridge and go, and then 2 days it's done. But if you put that in a container with a lid, close it in the fridge, that salad will last you almost a week, no problem.
Awesome.
Strawberries is another, or berries, any berries, don't leave them in the pannet. Put them in a container, maybe a little bit of paper towel underneath so it absorbs any moisture, lid on top, and those berries will last you over a week, no problem.
Fantastic.
Cherry tomatoes, same thing. So it's that, sorting out your veggies. And at the end of the day, that will save you money, because how expensive is vegetables at the moment?
Yeah, they are. Everything's going up in price.
Fruit and veggies, it's almost as expensive as meat, sometimes more than meat.
Yeah.
So definitely, this is my biggest tip.
I love that.
And then be creative, just with leftovers as well. As we said, try to use it up, take it for lunch to work, and talk to your family about all this. you know,
Yeah.
educate everyone around you, your friends, your family, about what you just learned today.
And I think OzHarvest has a tape, don't they? Is it a use it up
Oh, yes,
tape?
yes, absolutely. We've got a use it up tape.
Yeah.
You can get it online on our website, but you could have a shelf in the fridge that is dedicated to any food that you want to use. If you live in a share home, for example, or you share a fridge in your office with your colleagues, you can have a shelf, and whatever goes on the shelf, anyone can take and eat, and basically that needs to be used. So that's another way of doing it.
I
as
love
well.
that initiative, the
Yeah.
use it up tape. Okay, I think, were there any questions? I think that's kind of brought us to the end. We're hoping you, I'm just going to open that so you can give one more look at this, what we've
Oh,
created
yes.
today, guys.
Beautiful.
Can you get an overhead shot of these 3 dishes that we made? We got an overhead shot? Are they in? There we go. Have a look at that. So 3 things we've made today, using leftovers, using full ingredients so that we're not wasting, we're being a bit more conscious with what we're using up in our homes. And if we all do this together as a nation, I think we can absolutely make a difference, can't we?
Yes, unfortunately, the biggest waste comes from our homes.
Yeah.
Some people think might come from restaurants or supermarkets, but actually it comes from our own home. So if everyone can do a little bit to try and waste less, I think we can make the big change altogether. And really,
Absolutely.
should we say why we want to waste less? It's not only to save money, but there is another big problem that food waste is creating, which is the greenhouse gases. So pollution, global warming, it's a huge problem. It's bigger than plastic and airplane flying in the air. So we say if food waste was a country, it would be the 3rd biggest emitter of greenhouse gases after America, USA, sorry, and China.
Yeah,
So
wow.
it's that big, really.
It's a big problem that really, if everybody did their little bit, we can help to reduce that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I just want to say thank you so much, Sheffy, for coming along,
Thank you
sharing
for
your
having me.
knowledge. Thank you guys for participating and watching this, and hopefully spread the word. Remember those couple of things that I mentioned before. We've got our demo week coming up if you want to help us donate more, but also you can donate with the link we've shared. And we've got a survey for anybody that wants to find out more about the Thermomix. That's also been popped in there. I think that's pretty much everything. Have I forgotten anything, ladies? I think that's everything.
Do we have any questions?
Any final questions? Oh, good. We're glad to hear
Thank
that.
you.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks again, Sheffy. Thanks, OzHarvest. And we'll see you next